How's it going? Okay. Flip this over. Once people start rolling in, I'm gonna post it up on Facebook and so forth. But to give you an idea.
There you go. So what's the Chad and remix thing on the banner?
So that's the people who are who have followed, etc.
Mm,
So should be able to get this popped out even more so. People followed. Oh, I can make clips. Good to know. Should have had some music, but YouTube hates the music stuff. Crawling copyrights. That's about the same from one or the other. Or I can start making posts out there in Facebook land. I know one of the things that people have been asking about a lot has been the compression and what we're doing about it.
try with an update today.
And then we have the QR code is um, the pack fundraiser, and then we'll have timers for the Black and Blue Gala as well as the socials. So I can start just asking you questions. How about that?
So anyone on here?
No, but we'll make clips of it.
Okay.
So, what made you want to become the FOP president?
I reluctantly became the FOP president. I remember calling Will to ask to be more involved, and then he told me that basically the whole board was stepping down and thought I would be a good president and wanted to show me how to do stuff. And then as I tried to find more people to get involved, they said they would get involved if I was president. And so I also told a few people that I'm not a politician, I wouldn't run against someone. And then no one else wanted to run for president. So instead of first vice president, I became your FLP president.
Okay, so what things have you learned since you've been on the FOP board?
So as far as my experience on the FLP board, my experience with FLP in general was really more kickstarted in when we had the pay plan happen, and they gave raises to everyone but AP&P. And we started Lodge 44. I was in Tooele at the time, and I didn't volunteer to be a representative or anything like that because I didn't think it was fair. We had 100% membership of everyone on board already. So I thought it was better for someone for all those other people that were in Salt Lake to help. And then we had a Tooele representative, and I volunteered for that. I was the Tooele rep until I promoted to senior agent, moved to Salt Lake, and then kind of stayed off the board and just a member for a while until I asked Will if I could get involved. When Will stepped down and Chris was interim president, they put me in as first vice president for a few months before the election, and then I ran and opposed as president. Um, as far as what I've learned about the FOP and that since becoming president, I actually really like the organization of the FOP. FOP works very much from the members up. I love that because it's your lodge. It's not my lodge. It's not Parker's lodge. It's not Chris's lodge. It's not Clint Hansen's lodge. Any of the people on the board. We work for you, and everything comes from you, and then we represent you. Even if I don't necessarily have my own opinion aligns with what you want me to what I'm hearing from the members to present to admin, I will present it because that's your ideas.
So what are some of the things that you've presented to admin?
So far we've had two meetings with Brian Red, and we had plenty of meetings with Brian Nielsen before that. One of our biggest fights right now is compression. Um, the last meeting we had with Brian Red, we talked about compression, and we also talked about rank structure a lot. He told us he's been in for 100 days, and he still doesn't understand AP&P's rank structure. It makes no sense to him, and he wants to get it fixed. He is very willing to listen to suggestions and listen to what our problems are.
What are some small victories that you've been able to accomplish with the board since you've been as president?
So I guess some things that we've helped enact as a lodge. Some of this other stuff was we also presented the idea as someone else was. The referral bonus is something we talked with Brian Red about in our first meeting. He's the one who came up with $1,000 and stuff like that. Um, then we talked about a Citizens Academy that is in the works to kind of showcase more of what AP&P does. I don't know about you guys, but my parents don't even know what I do. Like I have to explain it to them all the time. So how are we supposed to explain this to the legislature about what we do? So, um, and then the user lose was a statewide thing that we helped a lot with. We suggested some things to Brian Nielsen, and he was trying to push for it as well, and they ended up doing on the state level for all state employees last year. Um,
What are some ways that non-board members could get involved?
so like I said, the FOP works from the members up. So 100% it's the members that run this lodge. And you get involved by writing your representatives, you get involved by letting us know what you need, really. Right now, we're working on compression. I about a year ago, I asked on the Facebook and all over the place, send me your compression. So I had a list. I sent it up our chain. At the time, I don't think it went anywhere. Today, I was in contact with admin and sent them that list again. And we will use this. We need specifics. So they need more specifics. So send me your compression story so that we can help.
And what is this little QR code on the screen?
So that QR code is for the PAC coin for the PAC fundraiser that Chris Roberts designed. Um, like I posted on the Facebook earlier today, the PAC fund is very important. It helps us have a presence on the hill. It really helps us get some stuff done.
And recently we had the Lodge 44 conference. What are some of the bylaws that changed, and how does that benefit? the members?
So there were two major bylaw changes. Well, there's a few things that happened at the conference. The first thing we voted on was about representation. AP&P is a statewide division. We are everywhere. Right now, we are mostly represented in Salt Lake. If we were able to get our message out and be more of a unified voice throughout the state, it would make a big difference because then we have every piece of the legislature coming together to fight our cause. So we voted to add more representatives. The goal is to have a representative in every field office in AP&P, so that we are overrepresented. And that way we know exactly what the issues are. We know what the issues are in Logan. We know what the issues are in Vernal. We know what the issues are there because they're going to be different than the issues that are just in Salt Lake. We meet with the executive director every quarter and our division leadership more frequently than that, and we bring these issues to them. It's very important to know what is going on and to represent you appropriately. The other thing we voted on was the dues change, and Drew Johnson did an amazing presentation about why it needed to happen. Um, I wasn't a big fan of it at first until they presented the numbers to me because of inflation and all that stuff that we have all been experienced for the last couple of years. Legal went up, state dues went up, all that stuff. And in order to operate as a lodge as we have been operating and be able to serve you the best we can and help each other out, we needed to raise the dues, and that passed. In fact, the people there were talking about trying to raise it more because that's how amazing you guys are, and you want to help each other out so much. And it's really amazing to me because I'm cheap and I don't like to spend money. So I was more like, yeah, the least amount we need to do, and you guys were trying to go even further than that, which amazes me.
How does one become a representative?
Um, so
Like, could you give me the your ideal process of how that would happen?
So right now we need a representative in Region 4, and we need one for the new center in Region 4 as well. We need one for Nuke. We need one in Ogden. We need one in Logan and Brigham City. We need one in Vernal. If you are interested and you are in some of these areas where you know we do not have a representative, um, reach out to us. Reach out to a board member. We'll invite you to the next board meeting. We will let you see what it's like, what's expected of you before we go, hey, congratulations, you're a representative, right? So that you know what you're getting yourself into. Usually, representatives, it requires you to just attend our board meeting, which would be virtual if you're far away. We're not expecting you to drive up to Salt Lake to meet with us. And then you share with us what's going on in your area at that once a month board meeting, and you give your input on how we're discussing things with admin, how we are pushing legislatively, all that stuff, so that we're also representing your area. Right now, for the dues change, we're going to have to sign a bunch of new forms, and that's going to fall on a lot of our representatives to help get those forms signed. That is a project that we'll need to have completed by January 1st and set some rules, and we're going to set those rules up at our next board meeting in October.
Does Lodge 44 ever have any open meetings?
Yeah, so that is one thing that we changed. This new board is very energetic. So last year in August, the whole board pretty much stepped down, and then we all got placed into office, so to speak, right? So we decided after learning more and more about how other lodges run and stuff to do a public meeting once a quarter. This quarter we did our big conference, and so we'll probably do another one the next quarter, and we're gonna stream them. It'd be nice to, now that we got this kind of streaming set up, we can stream them this way. We've used Facebook Live, Google Meets, and stuff like that in the past, and it's very important that our members are involved. Any of our non-public streamed um, meetings, any members welcome to attend. Like if you come in and you want to sit in and you want to see what's going on, let us know. We uh, we we will let you. You can ask questions when we do the roundtable, stuff like that. There's certain decorum to our meetings, and we have to follow them because that's part of being part of the FOP and following the Robert's Rules of Order and all that stuff. That seems kind of confusing until you start to get to know it. But any member is welcome to reach out with anything, attend any meeting, and we are never going to turn you away.
So, a personal question for you. What would be one piece of advice that you would give a new officer who just joined AP&P?
One of the first things is get enrolled in FOP so you have legal coverage. And the second, and more of a personal piece of advice, is to be positive. Be positive in a negative environment.
And how long have you been with the department?
I've been with the department for 12 and a half years. Um, I have, I have, I spent 4.5 years at the prison. And then I went to AP&P, promoted out to the Tooele office, and I spent 4.5-ish years there. While in Tooele, I was on the Drug and Gang Task Force, the Major Crimes Task Force is what it was called when I left. Did a bunch of all that fun stuff. And then I promoted to senior agent at the TRC, and then a year later promoted to supervisor. I've been a supervisor for almost 3 years now. Um, and I don't see me doing anything else with the rest of my career.
So, did Chris Roberts write the Roberts Rules of Order?
No, the Robert's Rules of Order is a lot older than Chris Roberts. Just a coincidence.
So, here just a month or two ago, Lodge 44 went to Las Vegas for the national conference. Is that only eligible to board members?
No, in fact, I was talking to some people about this later. So the national convention happens every 2 years. The next one's going to be in Miami, and then the one after that's going to be in Salt Lake. So, how it works is there's a certain amount of delegates and alternates we are assigned as a lodge, depending on our size. Because it was down in Vegas, and it's pretty easy for us to travel down in Vegas. We sent our 7 delegates down there to help vote. Um, we would like to do the same thing with Miami, and I would like to send members there as well, not just the board members. We had one member come with us down this time, and representatives mostly, not even executive board members.
Chris Robertson chat asks, when is the state conference?
The state conference is November 4th and 5th, I believe. Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong. The first day is the wellness conference. The state FOP and the national FOP has really invested a lot into officer wellness, and that's a lot of what we've also done as well. With when we were looking at raising dues, we want to build that wellness fund. Anything we sell as a lodge that we make money off goes into a wellness fund, like the coins. We're looking at making shirts and hats and stuff like that as well. Um, and then the second day is the state conference. It's where all the business happens and stuff like that. And Chris just told me that's correct. It's the 4th and the 5th. It's free for members to attend. We still It still works with a delegate thing, I believe, but anyone is welcome to attend. It's going to be down in Lehigh.
What usually happens at the state conference?
So at the state conference, it's a lot kind of like our conference. They can vote on bylaw changes, stuff like that. They do reports on how they spend all the state funds. They do all of that stuff. Um, and I think it's not an election year this year, so none of our state executive board members are up for reelection or anything like that. They may replace the sergeant of arms, but they may. I think they already did that, if I'm correct, Chris. Since he's listening. But next year is the election year. Last year I got to go before I got put on the board, and it was very informative. I watched them all run for reelection unopposed, which was fun. They give out prizes, all sorts of stuff. So actually, that was 2 years ago. So is this year an election year, Chris?
And just be aware there's about a 30-second delay if he's on mobile.
Yeah. So this year would be an election year for all our state board because it wasn't last year. I'm a year off because I've been in this spot for over a year now. Last year was down in Cedar City, and we did not have an election. So it would be an election year this year for President Jex and the whole board. So the FLP rule is we have to have an election at least every 2 years at our conference. So if you want to replace me next year, let me know.
Not gonna happen. Okay, with Lodge 44 and the current board, what are some of the things that the board is wanting to accomplish this year?
So right now we're kind of waiting to hear back from Executive Director Red on what he's going to add to the governor's budget, and what we're pushing legislatively. He wants to make a lot of changes, and he literally told us that costs money. The governor did say that this is a conservative year, but he also placed him there to make changes, and that cost money. So we're waiting to see what that number amount is. He's still fact finding on a bunch of different issues, but he has told me multiple times that compression is one of his number one concern, and I believe he's backed that up by how he seeks out people he knows who is compressed and asks them to write down their story to send to him so that he can share that with the governor's office and things like that. Um, Other than that, we are working on trying to get out, trying to be amongst all the different offices throughout the state. We are going to do those meet and greets again like we were doing. We stopped them because legal was going up, and we wanted to be a little bit more fiscally conservative. And so starting January again, once we start getting our dues back up to where they were, we'll start doing that stuff again to give that money back to you guys, bring you treats, bring you stuff like that, and do meet and greets, give people why it's important to be an FLP member, what it is we do for them, and try to figure out also what other issues are affecting other parts of our state.
So is there a way that Lodge 44 kind of showcases everyone across the state, or is it just Salt Lake only?
So right now we have our public information officer who is in the room with me right now. He has done an amazing job of setting up all our socials. We voted at the conference to get rid of our website because we were paying money for it. Nobody's checking it because we have socials that are doing really well. And that is to showcase our members. We worked with the department to say, hey, we are going to share pictures of people in uniform. They kind of drag their feet a little bit on it, but now they're a lot more on board with it as well. And they even like our post when Parker posts them. That is meant for everybody in the state. If something happened down in St. George, something happened, if Laney did something amazing down there in Moab, something like that, we want to know about it, especially if you have pictures. We'll post it. We'll show the amazing things you guys do every day.
What is one of your favorite posts or stories that came from members submitting photos?
So I got permission to share a photo of David Beal putting out a fire, and then most recently we had some members sharing a picture of them putting out a fire while doing Facebook, while doing field work, not Facebook. They submitted it to Facebook. Other things that we've shared. Um, yeah, those are probably my favorite ones, probably mostly because they're most recent. I would love to see more of our stuff showing what you guys do. Because I know the stories are out there. I know you guys do amazing things every day. We just don't like pictures of ourselves. I get it.
Is there any questions from chat that would like to be asked right now?
And we ask AP&P to have a fire bureau. You know, side note on the fire thing. When I was an agent in Tooele, me and Bracken would roll around, and we always wanted to put out a fire with our fire extinguisher, never got to. So, you guys are living our dream.
We may have asked this before, but what is the most rewarding thing for you being an FOP?
Most rewarding thing being in FOP. Um,
Or let's narrow it down, being the president of Lodge 44.
Probably the most rewarding thing so far is the engagement and not and like the engagement of our new board members and how energetic they are is great. And not just that, just even the engagement of our members. When we go places, people want to talk to us. They want to tell us what's going on. And just having a connection with you guys because you guys are so awesome. You guys are amazing. To go up to Logan and we did a meet and greet there and to talk to those agents, to see how their world is different from ours down in Salt Lake, or you guys down in Provo, anything like that, right? So in order to go do that stuff is very, very fulfilling to me because regardless of what happens, your membership status or something like that, we go to these meetings with the executive director, we go to these meetings with the division director, and we're going to start meeting with region chiefs and stuff like that as well. And we represent you regardless because they see us as an employee organization that is representing their boots on the ground. And and that's what's important to them is to know what is happening in your world because it's easy for them to get disconnected from that.
So with the legislative session starting to fire up, what can our members do to assist 44 or to assist themselves?
So we'll keep watching for different bills and stuff like that that are coming out. Um, we have a good connection with the state FOP legislative chair, who will help keep us advised of anything that really affects us bad, like the at will for everyone last year. You guys did amazing at that, pushing against that to make it so it didn't happen. Um, and then we will get that number that we are asking for as far as budgetary items that we need to help address compression and to help raise wages even more to help us fill that prison to get out of mandatory overtime and get back to just doing our jobs and not theirs. Anything else?
I'm not seeing anything in chat. I believe you answered most of the questions that we've seen on Facebook and just through chat. Uh, if they're not in here and they watch this later, how can they get a hold of the board to ask questions?
So we have board specific emails. That way, if like someone replaces me or something like that, they still have that email. So it's going to pass on to the next person who takes over. My email is president.fop44@gmail.com. And that's how most of them work. Our general one that is ran by our public information officer Nate Parker and that's FOP. What is it, Nate?
Utah FOP 44.
At gmail.com. You can submit them either places. Um, Most people have my phone number. You can text me, you can call me, you can email me, even on my state email, I'll respond, stuff like that. So don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions. There is a question in the chat on how big is Lodge 44 compared to other lodges. To give you kind of an idea, Lodge 44 is one of the biggest lodges in the state. We are a statewide agency compared to a lot of other places. We have 380-ish members right now, which I'll get an updated membership list when we meet in October. Um, and we're about the same size as Lodge 14 is, the prison lodge as well. I think the Utah County Lodge is bigger than ours, and I'm not sure which ones are bigger, what other ones are. The rest of them are probably well under 100.
One question just comes to mind because I actually get this quite a bit. Why can't we use our work emails to sign up for FOP?
That's a good question. So, part of the not using work emails is if you are ever placed on admin leave, the first thing they do is they turn off your work email. So if we have your personal email and you reach out to us or we hear about it and feel like and want to see if you need support, we have that line of communication with you. Especially if you signed up with your work email and your work phone, we have no way to get a hold of you anymore to try to provide you the services you already pay for to try to help you get into contact with legal and to help represent you.
Any final words to the members or people who are thinking about joining FOP?
No, like again, you guys are awesome. You guys go out and do amazing things every day. I look forward to doing more of these things and getting more traction, more videos. We'll get more board members involved. Transparency is huge. We've been preaching transparency since the beginning. We are going to be transparent with you. All you have to, if you don't feel like you know what is going on with your lodge, tell us and we will tell you what is going on. And if you don't feel comfortable with something going on with your lodge, show up to one of our meetings and talk to us about it because we will work to make it better because that's the point. We also preached transparency to the executive office, and that is the one really good thing that's started to happen now. They are being more transparent. They are starting to showcase you guys in their socials as well a lot more because we got to the point to where he said they're not going to do it. We're just going to do it for them. So now we have a very good collaborative relationship there as well to help showcase the good you're doing and to try to fix some issues.
Well, I think that is it for this live stream. I believe that we've said that we'd like to do this more in the future with different board members, if not all of us together at once. Uh, Again, if you want to be showcased, please send us the photos and a quick story to UtahFOP44 at gmail.com. We want to highlight you. We just want to know about you in all the areas that we can't touch just yet. So reach out to us, ask us questions, and then look forward to more of the live streams like this.
If you're interested in being a representative and you're in one of those offices that does not have a representative, reach out to us and we'll get some things started.